Thanks, Craig.
As is tradition, thanks, Craig. Hello and welcome to the channel, the biggest YouTuber that we've ever had on Total Baloney, Trans-Australian Coaster Channel.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. Yes, the biggest YouTube channel you've ever had, as in the 0 subscribers and does not yet exist. Yeah. Thank you for having me on your wonderful establishment. I guess it's a metaphorical establishment.
It's
Yeah,
really
it's an establishment.
It's a it's a liminal tavern, if you will.
Yeah,
Could I get you a metaphorical drink?
Oh my god, have you guys ever drank bin juice?
Are we talking literally,
I will-
or is this a cocktail?
No.
I'm not
I'll have
familiar
a
with?
bin juice. No, there's a brewery. I think they're up on the Sunshine Coast called the Ibis Brewing Company, and they do like this bespoke craft soda, and it is the scrumptious. It's so scrumptious. That was English.
It's called bin
But
juice. I
it's
mean, it
called
makes
bin
sense
juice.
for Ibis. Yeah.
Ibis,
Yeah.
chicken. Yep, I see it.
Like, it's not actual bin juice.
Okay.
It's the yummiest stuff. Anyway, sorry, that was a random tangent.
What is bin juice's purported flavor per se? Like,
they have 3. They've got like a mango thing,
Actually-
a strawberry thing, and like a blueberry thing from memory. They're quite small, but
why
they're
are people throwing
like
throwing that kind of thing in their bin? Sounds delicious.
I don't know. It is delicious, and it's yeah.
think of the marinating that goes on with, the taste of, wheelie bin plastic and last night's, leftovers that got chucked out.
Yes, all the chicken broth and yeah, that's. I guess I should probably introduce myself, because Trans-Australian Coaster Channel, of which is not fully realised. Yeah, for all of the listeners that don't know, I am Heidi, who has guest appeared in both of your content on YouTube. Yeah, I'm just a close friend of the channels, I guess, and the podcast.
Correct.
And being
friend of the pod.
owner of the incredibly successful Trans-Australian Coaster Channel.
That's correct. Yeah, that is indeed correct.
Did you have any idea that what you felt may have been a throwaway joke at the time would have such longevity?
Yeah. No, not really. I didn't think it was going to be a thing that was like lived on for a while. I guess. Do we have to explain the joke?
For those who aren't familiar, Heidi accompanied me on my trip to Aussie World on the Sunshine Coast, and at one point when I got on SX360, I handed the reins of the camera over to Heidi to do some filming, and Trans-Australian Coaster Channel was born.
Yeah, it was just something I said off the
A
cuff.
star is born.
Yes.
The rest is history, as they say.
The other thing is,
or herstory.
of all the guests that you've had on Total Baloney, you don't have to ask when I'm going to the Keith Monorail, the greatest coaster known to man. Because I've experienced it with my own push.
The first of our Total Baloney guests who's on the right side of history.
Exactly.
Yeah, we experienced it all together.
We did indeed. What a time!
That was That was a
What
great
time
trip.
to be alive. That was an amazing trip.
Yeah.
It's actually, let's talk about it because we're all here. It's the family reunion.
The family reunion, yes. Um,
all we need now is Steve or Stuart.
we need this little.
We've already got
Yes.
Craig.
Craig. Yeah, Craig's our
He
new.
also, what was that guy's name at the
Rod.
car rental
Oh.
place? Rod.
Rod. I don't remember. Yeah,
Rod.
but okay. Oh, that guy was.
Oh,
Rod
He was
talking
just
about
happy to have
people
someone to
who
talk
are
to.
having wild Christmas parties and keep an eye out on the
Oh.
roads.
it's
Because
has
that's
it
the thing is
has
we're
it been
recording.
a year?
Yeah, I was about to say we're recording this on the 9th, and I think we recorded it about like
It'll be in my calendar,
the
so let me just have
3rd
a
or
look.
4th of December, or maybe a little bit later. I can't remember if it was before or after my birthday.
No, because I'd
Um,
been to Perth before then.
It was December.
It was December. It was definitely
So
December.
our stay at so I think we flew in on either the 14th or the 15th.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So nearly, pretty much a year. Probably a year when this is put out.
This will be out, if you're listening right now, it is at least Sunday the 15th, so it's a year.
Yeah.
Come on,
Happy-
1 year anniversary recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed that trip. I
Wow.
will never forget you and your big metal penis.
Yes.
Uh,
Wow. There's a lot of things that Keith, South Australia is famous for. The monorail, the incredible pub food, and it's big metal penis.
and the random
That's
tank
the big thing.
and the Land Rover on the
There is
pole.
Land Rover on a pole. There was, man, what a town. That's all you
I
need,
really like
really.
that town.
I
It's
just love
so
that
charming.
there were those
And I will
random
say-
girls. Keep going,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
No, I do want to talk about that, but keep saying what you were saying, Heidi.
I will just say I'm in. I'm in for the 2025 Keith meetup. As
happening.
obviously
Everyone,
it's a create up, and of course the biggest guest you've ever had in the Trans Australian
yes.
Coaster channel. So yeah, I will be coming. I will be making my way down back to
Everyone
Keith,
thinks
South Australia.
everyone thinks I'm joking about that and that it was like a bit with Dane. I think even Kieran thinks I'm not fully serious, but it's gonna happen.
You weren't joking.
I'm gonna make it happen.
It's happening.
Of course it's happening.
Hey, Riley and I live in the same state, and I do know for a matter of a fact the boot of my car is big enough for a human. So
Let's keep things road legal, shall we?
Also,
maybe
I love the
kidnapping's a bit
implication that you were
far.
just gonna kidnap him if he wasn't gonna come. We need to. We're gonna get creators on the Keith monorail by any means necessary.
By force, yes.
That's so mid-sized sedan hatchback.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Kieran, you mentioned the girls that we.
Oh, the girls
I don't
at the
know if we
Keith
actually.
pub.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
so yeah. Wild story. Maybe like a month after I put out the Keith documentary, so it was a bit like early this year. I just randomly got a message on Instagram, on my Maloney's Coasters Instagram, from this person who was in like a Keith local and was just like, I have no idea who you are or anything, but I've just been told that my friends met you at the Keith pub, and then I've just gone and seen your documentary, and my mind is fucking blown right now. What is going on?
Uh,
They were so excited for us and flattered that we came to their little town, and they
I
just
think
wanted to talk.
they were very suspicious. They were
I
like,
think it was just probably a little bit
why?
surreal
Yeah, very.
for him.
Why did you come to Keith? Which is why I think it would be even funnier to do this creator meetup, because if we actually got like a
20
dozen
people.
people there, yeah,
Yeah.
Double
20
the
people,
population of the town.
yeah, there's just all of these creators. Everyone's got like camera setups and GoPros and all just walking around vlogging and stuff. And I think everyone in Keith would be like, what the fuck?
We might
Did I
actually have
tell you, this is going to sound very weird, but did I ever tell you about my dream?
do go
Go
on.
on then.
So I had a dream after that trip that I was back in Keith with, I can't remember, I can't remember if you were in it, Kieran, but I 100% know that Jake went. And that I know that there was some like fair in town, and there was like a homemade traveling coaster.
So Kieran was there.
There was a fair in town, and there was a traveling coaster, and it was like,
Oh,
Oh,
a bear. I
there
thought you
was
said a bear.
That's
oh
why I
no,
made the joke about Kieran being there. I thought you said a bear.
no, like a fete, a carnival.
Okay.
And there was a thing, sorry, that's very descriptive of me. There was a coaster, and I remember it was from memory, from my dream. It had an elevated station, and it didn't have a chain lift at the start of the ride, except it had it at the end of the ride that brought you back up to the station.
Oh.
And I remember it was literally just like a drop, a loop, and then into the chain lift. And it was jank, and my brain came up. That was a weird thing.
That sounds like it would be quite. Imagine the G-force on that loop.
Yeah, I think it would have
Imagine the
been
G-force. Imagine like hitting the chain lift like it's a brake run.
Ooh.
Ugh.
mentioned Dane before, and can I just say, like, hats off to him for the that was an incredible listen.
It really was.
His first episode,
Yeah.
wasn't it just?
Mm.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. We
No,
kind of have to
I thought
get
that was
Greg now
very
just to
insightful.
just to be like, we can do it too.
He's probably going to go with these loose units. Like, I don't know if I want to go on with them.
No, you got
Yeah.
you've got to up him now. You got to get like I don't know. You got to get someone like international.
Alan Schilke.
Yeah, or like I don't know.
What's your favorite party? What's your favorite Aussie party kids' birthday party food, Alan Schilke?
Yeah, or like Richard
What's your
Zimmerman.
When is Alan Schilke gonna ride the Keith monorail?
As he tries fairy bread and lamington fingers.
Hey, he no, I
and
did
tries
he have a hand in the
works out.
Raptor? Because I was going to say he has experience with single rails, but no, did he retire before the Raptor? I can't remember.
This is where I'll defer to you, Jake, because I'm not as.
I actually don't know. I can find out. RCDB.
Yeah. I actually want to speak
where
about some
was the-
RCDB stuff a little bit later on, because I've made what I think might be a little bit of a discovery.
Mhm.
Okay, so the prototype Raptor, it doesn't say who designed the layout, but it's only been in production since 2018. And Alan Schilke
believe in
retired
16?
in According to his Wikipedia page, he hasn't retired, so I don't know.
I swear he retired, but okay, I could be wrong. Oh, let's just
Well, he's
attribute
had
it
his
to the
own.
single rail film.
Yeah, whatever. He needs to come over and find out which one of the Arnott's mixed assortment he likes best, anyway. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
like, you might as
true.
well get the credit while you're here.
Something tells me he's a left of center kind of person and would go for something unexpected like the lemon crisp.
Ooh, actually,
Arnott's
yeah, like
mixed
that.
assortment. I don't fully know the mixed assortment, if I'm honest. So I've obviously heard you mention them before.
Family assorted. So there's two sort of
Yeah,
families of family assorted. There's family assorted,
the
which has
assorted
your
creams.
assorted cream is the second part of the family.
Look, I do like a Monte Carlo. I know that's probably the boring
Ooh,
choice.
it's a controversy here on the podcast about Monte Carlos.
Is there? I'm not sure I'm familiar.
Okay. I don't dislike them. I think they're overrated. But
Now
that's
this
just
is
my
the
personal
thing.
Fight.
No. This is the thing. This is the thing. This is going to sound really weird, but what I love doing is like doing the good old Oreo twist with them,
That's the
and
only
then
way
the
to eat
side,
them.
yep, and then the side with the cream, and because it's got the like, look, I don't know what it is, but it's got the
The
like
weird jam
sticky sort of,
film.
yeah. I love just like dragging it on my tongue, like
Yeah,
sort of
that's fair.
sticks.
Well, the thing is, because
I'm going to
the
bring a new
Monte Carlo.
challenger.
Okay, go
Sorry,
on.
go on. Go on. No,
Well,
I'll.
because the Monte Carlo is such a substantial biscuit, it doesn't make sense to eat it any other way.
I agree.
Because when you bite into them, if you were biting into an just full on it was like a weird little burger. One of them inevitably breaks, and it turns into a little bit of a mess. So yeah, the Oreo technique I feel like is the only correct way to eat a Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I agree with that. Either that or like I have a sensory problem with them because when I bite into it, if it doesn't break, they like smush together on the other side because they're too big and the gap kind of just collapses. It and I hate that feeling in my mouth. I don't know why. So I eat them with
Thing
the
is, that's why
Oreo
you
twist method too.
That's why you equal. Like, I don't always eat them Oreo twist, but there's the other thing of what you can do is you can equal the gap, shoving your tongue in the like slot and then dragging it around, and you'll like
Or-
sort of scrape off the excess, which
Yeah.
equalizes it, and then you take a bite, and then you don't
And doing
really
a
have
little
that
bit of
problem.
a squish to it to help make the
Exactly.
icing
Yeah.
spread out to the edges. Yeah.
Exactly. And because it's got that jam, it doesn't do like a big like it's a soft squish.
Yeah.
And it
Totally.
gets a good spread. But no, I do want to, because it's obviously December and coming up to Christmas. Not yet, because I don't like talking about Christmas until birthday. Which as a Sagittarius, I can't. Christmas doesn't tend to exist until after birthdays. But
That's fair. Cool.
the best thing about Christmas has to be Pfeffernuss.
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 Yeah. And I will say,
Please.
it blow all your family favorites and assorted creams out of the water. It is basically a semi-sphere of gingerbread just covered in icing. And I don't know, I really like them.
How does one
The first thing
spell
that's
Pfeffernuss?
I've found it. It's a German word. It starts with a P.
It is German, yes.
Pfeffer.
Nusse.
Yeah, and
Found it.
one of the first AI generated questions that Google has come up with for me is, why does Pfeffernuss taste like licorice? So that's a bad start for you.
It doesn't. I don't know who that is, but
It's probably because it's got
I
star anise in
also
it or something.
the thing is it does have like a spicy tang to it, obviously because ginger. which maybe that's where they're getting that from.
Yeah, Anise is one of
But
the
I will
ingredients.
just say, if you look at if you're looking it up and you're looking at images, you will notice that one of the common brands or does happen to be Heidi's Pfeffernuss. So maybe there is just a bit of a thing there. I was in Coles the other day, and I was walking to the self checkout, and as I the self checkout, there was like the cardboard stock boxes where they just sort of rip them open and have whatever items in there, and I just saw out of the corner of my eye, I just saw a little label that just says Heidi Pfeffernuss, and I'm just like, you're calling my mom, grabbed a bag, just like that. Because I don't know, they're great. They are just scrumdiddlyumptious, and I've got a bag in the pantry, and I will go have some after this podcast because I don't know, they're. Look, I might be hyping it. It's just a thing that I grew up on because like I had like a 60-year-old German lady that like babysat me when I was a child.
Okay.
And she introduced me to Pfeffernuss, and I don't know, it's been a thing that it's just been a thing.
Pfeffernuss. What a funny word.
It is also just fun to say.
Totally.
What was I? What I hinted at before. Obviously, since in the
You
last,
said there was a
I think it was.
challenge.
I don't think there was a challenge. No, I think I've so since 2 weeks ago, I believe I think it was 2 weeks ago. You know, you've heard obviously about Cacao Park in Brazil,
Yes.
Yes.
the chocolate. Yeah.
Excited about that,
Now
actually.
it's very cool. But I don't know if you've looked on RCDB on the Cacao Park page.
Only at the main the Vekoma Ghost Rider.
Exactly.
Just because I was curious. I was
The
curious
Ghost
to do a
Rider.
stats.
Ghost Rider's the model name. Now, have you seen the concept
Yeah.
images for? Now, if you look at the concept images for Hossoland in Poland, it has the exact same layout. And if you look at the DB to be a coaster built by either Intamin or Vekoma, and it's been up there for months, called Ghost Rider. So I reckon the one going to Cacao Park is actually a clone of a Vekoma launch coaster going to Hosso Park in or Hosso Land in Poland. So I think there's actually going to be two of
Correct
those
me if
layouts.
I'm
I could
wrong.
be
Isn't
wrong.
the Ghost Rider just the new name for the Firestorm? They just changed the name.
Did they?
It's the same. Yeah. If you go onto Vekoma's website, I'm actually on there now. The Ghost Rider page has a photo of Wrath of Zeus at Vin Wonders.
Oh.
And there is no page for the Firestorm. So I'm pretty sure that they've changed the name for their big sit-down launch coaster from the Firestorm to the Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
But obviously,
Vekoma's on some weird shit with their names. Like,
well, that's what I was kind of excited about because it's like, hey, they've got to have at least built more than one. It's that tends to be the thing. They'll just have a new model and call it a insert name here.
yeah.
And there's
They also don't refer to
noticeable difference.
They also don't refer to Lech Coaster as Bermuda Blitz anymore. It's just the page. The page is just says Lech Coaster.
Okay.
So I don't know if they've revised that model as well, considering none of them have been built ever since. But there you go.
Ghost Rider could be the name of this coaster at Hosso Land, which can I just say the scene of the construction of that park looks incredible. that place looks really
It
well
does.
themed from what I have seen.
I am hoping it's open by mid next year, preferably. Because that'd be nice.
Yeah, but I think the thing that makes me think Hossoland's coaster and Cow Park's coaster are the same layout is a lot the concept image, because they do look fairly similar, especially the elements near the top hat. Obviously, they're concept images; they're not final. They're if you want to talk about concept images and not meeting expectations, Wizard of Oz.
I think we roasted them too hard last week. Maybe
We
we
went
should.
in.
No, I don't think you did too hard. I don't think you went too hard.
I was actually like seething a little bit. I was
Look,
like,
the way
you could probably
the
see.
way that Rivertown's going, it looks, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I should probably say, one of the things I've been up to recently in my own coaster journey is last month I actually went and did my first trip to Goombaya World. And obviously got TNT. And yeah, because I've obviously recently been to the park. Yeah,
What were your thoughts?
from what I have seen, it's better themed. I really liked it. Unfortunately, the day that I went, I was feeling quite under the weather, and actually because of Flight of the Wicked West coming, and that I am a Queensland based sentient
Creator.
mass.
Thuzy?
Yeah, Thuzy. You could, any all of the above. That I was just like, I'm feeling sick, so I only did the one ride, which admittedly was a front row ride, because I was like, look, we're getting the same
There you go.
layout, but the theming was great, and it's fairly forceful layout. I didn't mind it. Actually, I say I didn't mind it. No, it's a very fun coaster. For what it is, it's a lot more. And it's so smooth. It's easily the smoothest coaster that I've been on. I will say that I've noticed that it did have a slight rattle going into the second helix after the step fly through. Just entering that slightest shuffle. Like it's honestly, if you weren't
Yeah.
you could go on it without noticing it. Honestly, you could, but it was there. I really liked it, but I do have one question about TNT. What's with what's with the speakers in the queue line and all like the amplifiers? I didn't get that part.
They
I
used
don't know
to
if it was
have
a TNT reference.
they used to have a audio pre-show almost that played through the queue when I went there. That was only a few months after it opened.
Which was coming out of those like amplifiers, because there was a bit like an audio pre-show in the station when boarding, but there wasn't anything that happened with
I have no idea.
amplifiers, and I just didn't really get what they had to do with the theme. My only thought was AC/DC and TNT.
I have no idea really. I only vaguely remember it because that's been like a year and a half, well, almost 2 years now.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Yeah, the only audio I
Jesus.
remember with the safety procedure and then sort of the conversation over the onboard audio as you're climbing up the lift hill.
Yeah, that's sort of
Yeah.
themed safety procedure, and
Yes.
that is appreciated, especially from a small park. And I gotta say, everything in the
totally.
park is so cute. Like
Very.
I can't remember the name of it, but the Australian space organization, whatever they called
Astro.
it. Yeah, and the coat of arms with the kangaroo and the emu with the little space helmets. It's just gorgeous. I just found everything really, really quirky. I do have to say, Zero does like some theming, but I don't think it wasn't. Look, the only thing that I found necessarily, I wouldn't have had an issue with the fact that it lacked theming other than in the queue. I don't know if it was like this when you went, Kieran, obviously because you've been the most recent other than like out of the two of you.
Yeah, there's not much to the queue line itself. It's
I
like a
don't know if
shed
there was
with a
like a bunch
window.
of paint, because there was a bunch of paint that had been like ripped off the wall by people and like
Oh, really?
into the walls, and it had actually been like quite vandalized. That was
Oh,
probably
okay.
my largest shame with the queue. I mean, obviously it would have been nice if it was themed, but it was just sadly looking a bit
A
worse for
little
wear.
rundown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
People suck.
People do suck, but overall, the very small amount of time that I spent at the park, because as I mentioned before, I was sick, and I actually did both Goombaya and Melbourne Park, Melbourne in one day. So I was
That's
Wait,
ambitious,
in-
considering how much of a
in
trek
one
it is
day?
to get out to Gumbaya World.
well, I had a rental car.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, that was the thing. So it was a nightmare, because the day that I went down was actually I don't know if you heard in the news, but the Qantas plane caught fire at Sydney Airport,
Oh, I vaguely remember
Oh,
something.
which is when I went down. Yeah, so that caused massive delays. So our flight, which was supposed to leave Brisbane at 9 o'clock, never left until 12:30. So I didn't get Melbourne until
Ooh.
midnight. I got until 2 o'clock. Sorry, I didn't get. I got sick on the plane. Stayed at the airport hotel. Went and got my rental car at like 10 in the morning and drove straight to Goombaya while still having, like, I had gastro, so I was not great and actually get sick like
Oh, and
at
that
the
feeling when
park.
you're driving is, oh, I'm imagining you had the cold sweats at several points.
No, because I had a rental car that I didn't order through any of the rental agencies. I rented through an app. Nice, and it had essentially self-driving. So I literally just had it
Oh,
on the highway cruising. So I
to me,
literally
it's
just had
just more.
music on with aircon and my eyes open and just ring. Look, you know me. Driving isn't an issue for me. I like driving. Driving's a thing that I do enjoy. I've driven feeling a lot worse. Yeah, I could drive here to Timbuktu whilst having a telephone pole sticking out of my head, and I'd be fine. I'd feel fine. Anyway, sorry, that's a bit of a strange tangent. But no,
should we test that?
I can't imagine it'd be very
maybe
comfortable.
not. No. But yeah, it was interesting having gas as I think both of you can attest, but probably more so Maloney's, my
Hmm.
motion sickness, which will be interesting.
Hmm.
It will be very interesting because of some plans that I have coming up next year, which will put that to the test, shall I say? I'm not going to give anything away, because I have actually thought about potentially creating some content around it. So
Ooh, nice.
I'm not gonna reveal that yet. Yeah. Where was I? Motion sick. Oh yeah, potentially getting into my own form of content creation. The one thing that I have thought about is in terms of content creation, yeah, and theme parks and coasters specifically, is obviously last month two a big fan of the first game and have over 1,500 hours in that game, which probably most of it's been
What
racked
game
up
was
in the
that
last few
again?
years.
We lost you for a second.
Planet Coaster.
Oh,
The
yes.
original Planet Coaster, and obviously the sequel came out last month. To an interesting start, I will say. I think the game. Look, a lot of people in the Planet Coaster community have basically been saying it has a. And I haven't been playing the original in the last month. I have been putting all my time into the sequel, knowing that it needs things. It needs features that were removed. It needs features that were added, polished, and it just needs general polishing. I think overall, there are certain things that do at its moment hinder its capabilities for realism and diversity in terms of rides. Because I used to play the first game with a lot of mods.
Okay.
I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Planet Coaster games, and how familiar and in tune you are with the release of Planco 2. So I don't know
I
if that's
knew
something I
that
should
it was
continue
coming out and that
to talk
there was a
about.
big hype.
Yeah, there was
But
lots
I
of
have
hype,
not
and
played.
I think it's a worthy successor. It just needs a bit more time in the oven, unfortunately. But I don't
One of those things that
think
needs a couple of extra updates before it becomes a fully fleshed out thing.
I don't think that's just Planet Coaster 2. I think that's just the way a lot of games are going. Because I mean, I've also been playing a lot of Flight Simulator 24 recently, and that came out 2 weeks ago, and that has been a farce. That has had been a buggy mess. Look, when you try rendering the entire world, going to be bugs. I can understand why it's a buggy mess, but I do believe that that's the general sort of consensus or the general sort of pattern that things are moving to, and I do think that there should be more talk about not releasing games in such a half-baked state. But I do think Planet Coaster 2 has a lot of after some DLC and us, and its first big update does actually release later this week, so that will be exciting, and to see the changes there. It honestly has a lot of benefits over the last game, and I think a lot of the features are cool, and I do think everything feels a lot faster and streamlined to build and create, which means there's a lot less tediousness, and it's a lot harder to get burnt out on, which is
Right.
very good from a creative standpoint.
Very good. So,
Sorry,
Planet Coaster 2 series on Trans-Australian Coaster Channel?
there's a chance. I'm currently working on a bit of a park, a bit slowly, which I've posted a few little things on the Discord, which some people may have seen. I don't know. Yeah, it is potential because I've got a lot of park ideas that I'd like to create and make. So I've definitely always thought about it in as a avenue. I did think about it with the first game, but it was like, oh, then the second game got announced, or there was a lot of rumors that the second game was coming. So it was like, ooh, do I just hold off? So I think after I'm a lot more familiar with it and that game I do think some occasional content could be a thing. And Town's opening, because I am very excited about the coming updates
Oh, yeah.
there.
Aren't we
Speaking of
all?
Rivertown, like, what a difference plants make. Let's just say that.
It looks so good.
It really does. I love the caribou. The caribou is looking gorgeous.
It just looks so lived in now, like, if that makes sense.
Mm.
No, the caribou
I don't know if you've all
is the plane.
I don't know when this update came out. Let me just check. Jags Journeys posted this just under an hour ago.
Okay.
Dreamworld have now put out a new event for pass holders. Dreamworld After Dark will be running in January, and they've confirmed that it will be both the last chance to ride the Claw at night and the first chance to experience Rivertown at night, and that is on the 18th of January. So that's confirmation that Rivertown will be open before then.
I haven't received any
I
kind
think
of
my pass. I think my
notification, 'cause
pass runs out at the end of January, so I might have to go.
Yes, it
That sounds
says
very
Saturday the 18th of January 2025 from 6 till 10 p.m. And yeah, confirmed that Rivertown will be in operation that night.
Jungle Rush night
Which
ride
is exciting
simulator.
stuff.
It is. Hopefully, look. Hopefully they get it open by the end of the year, but I'm more hopeful that they'll get by the end of Rivertown open by the end of the year than Wizard of Oz at this point in time.
Rivertown is certainly looking closer to complete than Wizard of Oz is. I'm very excited to see what Jungle Rush does. It's giving me very Gold Rush at Drayton Manor vibes with the way that Greg was talking about it on Dane's podcast. Kind of the multi-mode operations, like the different ride cycles depending on whether you start out of the station forwards or backwards, and whether you go up the incline turntable forwards or backwards or whatever. And I think that's really cool. I think that's very exciting.
I remember when the layout was revealed. Oh, what that would have been probably 12 months ago now. I remember talking to you privately about that, Jake, and you were like, "No, it wouldn't have backwards, like entrance into the like backwards loading and unloading capabilities." Ha.
Well, I was unsure how that would possibly work. So I'm happy to take the L on that one because it's exciting. It's something new.
It is exciting. I'm very excited for Jungle Rush. I don't know. I feel bad for Movie World.
I
don't know if I can feel too
They've done it to
bad
themselves.
because it's also their own doing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not looking too great for them at the moment.
Well,
as we discussed
I
last
think
week,
even in the long term, because if you think about it, Movie World doesn't have space to go. They don't have room to grow. Whereas Dreamworld has the space, the old space where Thunderbolt was. He talks about doing something with the Gold Coaster plot and the plot of Motor Coaster, and there's obviously the land where Rocky Hollow used to be. So they have so much area for upgrades and improvements and expansion. And I look
beyond that, there's still Old Blue Lagoon, the former site of the Big
100%.
Brother house. Like if they really wanted to expand that far, they've got plenty of room.
Exactly.
From what I understand, that where the Big Brother house and Blue Lagoon is no longer part of Dreamworld as a park, it's now zoned for mixed use.
Right.
There
yeah,
is.
I know
don't know if
they briefly mentioned that in Dane's podcast the other day, I think.
Right. Okay.
I didn't hear that in the podcast, but I will say I'm sorry. You go.
They did rezone a bunch of stuff. I didn't know specifically that it was Blue Lagoon and Big Brother, but I know they did some rezoning because they have intentions in the future of building accommodation and other forms of attractions to make make it a destination.
It might have been Dane's. It might have been Theme Park Cartel. I can't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing it somewhere.
Well, Dane or Greg did mention about accommodation in Dane's interview.
Yeah.
That's been on the
I will
cards for
just
quite a
say,
while, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if that area's been rezoned, because there's the Coomera Westfield. There is a sort of a dead end road that heads towards Dreamworld that sort of cuts off. Like it's a road that's been built within the last sort of 3 years, because there's obviously been a lot of development in that area of the Gold Coast, and it just sort of stops right at near Dreamworld. So I reckon there might be like a back entrance or just other development not to do with Dreamworld there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's been rezoned, that area.
Still own it though, right? Because I'm pretty sure they intend
I believe
on.
so, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So they haven't sold the land. It's just not part of the park.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think there's that's because I think Dreamworld's just knocking stuff out of the park at the moment. Excuse the pun. Like more potential for growth. And I look at Movie World and I go, where do they go next? I know there's also been talks about accommodation over at Movie World, but that and like another car park
Where are they?
coaster.
Where are they
Woo.
at with that? Because the
Haven't heard of them.
concepts for that came out
Well
last
over a year
year.
ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2 years ago.
Well, there's been that concept art of the big hotel right outside Movie World for a long time. I don't know where they're at with that.
I guess it's probably one of those things that's probably still with council or something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of for Movie World, and I don't know whether they're allowed to do this or whether they intend to do this, but I think they should knock down the building that used to be the studio showcase.
And Doomsday.
Is
That
that the weird
land.
W-shaped building?
It's so if you're
Kinda,
walking,
yeah.
yeah, like out past between Doomsday Destroyer and Wild West Falls, and there's a building there that used to be the studio showcase. They used to have like exhibitions in there of props and costumes from actual films and stuff. They've discontinued the studio showcase now. I'm pretty sure the only thing that building's ever used for is Fright Nights mazes. So
because the studio showcase used to be where the Maverick show was.
Right. I never saw the Maverick show, so I'm unfamiliar with where it was in the park. But yeah, it's basically directly behind Doomsday Destroyer, and if you were to knock that building down, it would open up pretty much a whole heap of land between what is now Wizard of Oz, and you could connect it around to that Doomsday Destroyer / entry to the Wild West area. And if they did that, I actually think that would be a really good move, because they could also get rid of Doomsday and have enough room for another fairly substantial attraction or land.
I agree. That is
So I think-
probably their best shot.
Yeah. I think that's their best move. But again, I know that a lot of the buildings in Movie World, the permanent buildings, are actually former film studios. And I'm not sure how much control they have over those buildings.
You know what? I'm on a podcast. And we're talking about Movie World. I feel like this is topical. So, yeah, a lot of those buildings are former like sound stages and studio buildings. Because my mum actually used to work Fright Nights, because she used to be a special effects makeup artist. And
I think you have told me that before.
Makeup. Yeah, but I just thought it'd be a funny
Oh no! It's just
anecdote.
me just recalling.
No. I just thought it'd be a funny anecdote, because while she was working one night, because obviously she had to bring all her makeup equipment in, she was allowed to park her car basically in backstage areas of the park. And obviously this was I don't quite know where this was, but they had the the Batmobile that used to that sits near Batwing.
Yep.
They had that out backstage. I feel like my mum is probably one of the only people that can say she's ever reversed into the Batmobile.
Oh my
Hope it was
god!
insured.
Imagine like if you badly damaged it.
I don't think it was a
That's
badly damaged, but she did crash in
that's
Batmobile.
that's the real. Is that the real one or is it a replica? Because they have
It's
like
a
a sign there. Yeah, they they have a sign there saying it's like the Batmobile from such and such a movie. But I've always been like, that's not the real Batmobile.
Barely, it's a replica. I mean, the one that they have in the I know they revealed one like a year or two ago that was like, oh, Batman has this new Batmobile for obviously the Batman movie that was came out a few years ago. And I think they were trying to advertise it as the real car, but it's like it's so not. I'm fairly certain it was built on a C6 Corvette, if I remember correct. And you can see it when you actually look at it. You can recognize body lines and be like, yeah, that's just a Corvette.
Oh
Anyway,
well.
enough of my car
Well,
nerdery.
Well, a lot of the times they say, "Hey, this is the Batmobile," and like it could have been one of 5 Batmobiles that were made for the film. You know,
that is true.
mm,
it's like they just sold what they say are the ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz the other day, and there were 4 pairs made for the movie. So it's one of 4 pairs that just got sold for like $28 million.
Actually, speaking of the car nerdery, Hollywood stunt driver. When are they gonna reinvigorate that? Like, are they gonna do something with that? Because like they've had that show for what that second iteration show's been for what at least 10 years now,
yeah, they need to do something with
Yeah.
it.
and it's compared to the first show that they had, it's just not
Not it.
anything overly impressive. Like,
Well, this was where when Jake was talking about the concept of adding Mad Max to movie world, I think Mad Max would fit best as a stunt show.
you know what?
Yeah,
That's not
they
a bad
could do
shout.
some cool stuff with that. They could do some
That is a
very cool
very
stuff
good.
with that.
Have like, you know, Mad Max versus what do you call them? The Chrome Mouth guys, you know?
Yeah.
The chrome mouth guys.
I can't remember what they're called. I've seen the movie once.
War Boys.
War
Yeah,
Boys.
War Boys.
Um,
The chrome mouth
Chrome
guys is a
Mouth
better
guys.
name though. It's a better name, honestly.
Chrome Mouth guys. I like that. They would be good. Yeah, I reckon they could definitely do something with the stunt show
Get
thing too.
Furiosa in there as well, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the thing. There is another Mad Max movie coming.
It's out.
No, Fury. There's another one coming up to Furiosa.
Oh, Art of Furiosa, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So because there's the original trilogy, and then Furiosa. I mean, I know it's a prequel, but to Fury Road. But there's supposed to be. They're not all like a chronological trilogy, but there's almost a second. There's supposed to be a 3-movie run, which is Fury Road, Furiosa, and there will be a third one, which I believe is in production at the moment. So that's the thing. In a couple of years, we will have a third Mad Max movie. So I think it would be a good idea to capitalize on it and actually have it ready for the movie, unlike Wizard of Oz.
Womp womp.
Because I honestly thought my thought was honestly because I didn't know about the Wicked movie coming when they announced that it was Wizard of Oz. I was like, is Wizard of Oz relevant anymore? And I guess with Wicked, yeah, it was, and then they completely have missed that mark.
yeah.
Yeah, by the time this land opens, Wicked will probably not even be in cinemas anymore. Maybe still running sing-along runs. I don't know.
Granted, its
see.
cultural footprint will be extended by the fact that the second movie will come out at the end of next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
It will still
they
remain
can't say,
relevant.
come see the brand new Wizard of Oz precinct that opened 11 months ago.
Yeah,
or
it's
10
gonna
months ago.
be it's gonna be really, really poor for them because as you said, the land will be almost a year old by the time Wicked Part 2 comes out. And also, I hate to put this negativity out there, especially knowing that there's another Wicked super fan in the podcast here right now. But they're also gambling on the fact that Part 2 will be anywhere near as good. If Part 2 flops, then they're fucked
But
because they don't get that hype, and they missed it all because Part 1 did have hype.
if I'm honest, the only if I remove yourself, like the two of you out of the equation, the only people that I know that are super over the moon and love like Wicked and The Wizard of Oz are people that are in their 60s or their 50s, and it's like, does 3 family
I think
coasters and no
I think we
judging
just
announced
got.
show or a dark ride or anything, like, that's the thing, is it doesn't feel like it appeals to families or the right audience.
I'm gonna
I think we just
strongly
got called
disagree.
boomers there, Jake.
I think we might have. I'm going to strongly disagree based on the demographic of my second screening that I went to on Saturday night.
I could
It
be
was
wrong.
it was a packed cinema, as in I got one of the last seats available. Thankfully, it was a reclining seat right up the back corner, so I didn't get pushed past all fucking movie. But it was all families. There were so many kids in that cinema.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
And how many of them will
and
be at
I'll give
Movie World?
and I'll give you none of them will be at Movie World. They're Irish, but
Yeah,
I
I
will
know.
give you 2 words. I will give you 2 words to I can give you a lot of reasons why Wicked will appeal to young girls in particular, but also I've got 2 words for you. Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. But that's the thing.
So
It's Wizard of Oz and not Wicked, isn't it? And I know it's the same universe, but
the only thing that I can say might help Movie World is that part 2 we're not going to do any spoilers this time because we did disclose it and tell people to skip last time. So no
I don't
spoilers,
want to do
but
any editing.
part 2 does link much more closely to
the event.
The Wizard of Oz. So
Okay.
there will be a lot more it will become a lot more relevant to the Wicked universe in
Fair
about a
enough.
year's time. But that being said,
That's
as we
pretty sick. We'll
discussed,
see a year old.
maybe they should have seen that coming and done a whole lot of Wicked Witch and Glinda merch, or
And granted, they
actually
have
made it.
put a bit of Wicked Witch stuff out there, like the whole "Fly My Pretties Fly" shirts and things like that. So at least they had some awareness. But I still think that if you're trying to capture the imaginations of little kids like that, sell tiaras, sell witches' hats.
Also,
Yeah,
do I now feel
exactly.
that there's a bit of an oversaturation in Movie World?
An
Because
As far as Wizard of Oz
well,
stuff.
no. Just
Yeah.
not just Wizard of Oz, but you've got the 2 boomerangs, you've got the SFC, you've got the Wild Mouse with Scooby Doo, and you've got Roadrunner, all geared towards families.
I've been saying this over and
I know.
over, and every single person that I
STC and a
discuss it with,
boomerang.
every single person that I discuss it with is like, no, Movie World really needed another family attraction. I'm like, did they?
One.
Look
They
at how
needed
many
one,
they've got now. Like, yeah, get one
not
more for sure,
3.
but make that a dark ride, honestly. They
Yeah,
don't need another family coaster.
Yeah,
they
they
need a
need
dark ride.
flats, they need dark rides, they need
Which, as you have said in the last
I'm
2 episodes, get rid of junior driving school. Put
yes, oh
something
my
in there
god.
that's decent.
So help me.
Yeah.
Fucking junior driving school. Who asked for that? Who wanted that? Is that for
They just went.
anybody?
I just think they went, oh, we have this space, we need to do something with it. Here's something cheap, bam.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's something that SeaWorld doesn't have, and it's something that Dreamworld doesn't have. So, ta-da!
It's shit.
we keep them on a track. They're not allowed to bump into each other. Dreamworld's already got that.
Yeah, actually, they do have the vintage cars.
But also they've got their bumper cars as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Yes. Up until quite recently, Movie World had bumper cars.
Yeah, they did.
Really? Where?
Yeah,
Over in near I feel like
near-
it's the building that used to be young Einstein's Gravity Homestead.
oh, I don't know. You know where all like the
Oh, where the first aid is now?
no. Where the sideshow games are?
Yeah.
Just like near Doomsday.
Yeah.
You know that sort of building? I think in peak season they use it for ice skating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
used to
that's where
have.
they put the new first aid section.
Oh, really? I thought they had a first. I thought first aid was in Main Street.
No, they put a new one in. Because I remember Jags and Ogre posting about construction updates where they put in like the ramp and the sliding door.
Yeah, well, that's where it is. That's where they were. Sorry, that used to be Dodgem cars.
Yeah.
Which
Old
is
Dodgem cars.
Yeah, just
which
behind
is
Dirty
another
Harry.
thing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
We
gonna say I haven't done
deserve each
ridden
other,
Dodge.
me
I was
and
gonna say,
Bach.
Bach!
what's Bach?
Bach is one of the name of one of the characters in Wicked.
Okay.
But it's just
It's just been
amusing.
stuck in my head
Is
all
it a
day.
TikTok? What was it?
Yeah, it was an Instagram reel. There's the way that the actress delivers his name in one of the songs is quite funny, and now everybody's mimicking it, and it's hilarious, and it's been stuck in my head for a whole day now. Me and Bach. Oh god. Anyway, Movie World.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just now in Google Street View on at Movie World, just like
I've been on Google
looking
Earth,
through.
like rewinding time this whole time because I noticed
Yeah.
this is this is how like how much I kind of multitask sometimes. The whole time I just went on Google Maps to get a look at the building that I was talking about a little while ago, and I noticed that the Chinatown Arch, in what used to be the entrance
Lethal
to
Weapon.
is still visible on the satellite image of Google Maps. But we also know that that's outdated imagery because DC Rivals doesn't exist yet and Arkham Asylum's still there. So I went on Google Earth to try and establish exactly when they finally got rid of that arch. And unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see because the imagery is not fantastic. But it looks like they didn't remove it until late 2016, early 2017.
Oh wow.
Do you think we'll be able to enter Wizard of Oz through both of the different Lethal Weapon entrances and Arkham entrances? Like,
I
there's obviously going to be the
don't
entrance.
think so.
Yeah.
I think the entrance via Superman will be the only way. Because I don't know, maybe. But
I think the
that
Scooby Doo
whole
entrance they'll open up just as like a way of cutting across the park. I think they've closed off the entrance that used to be on Main Street.
Oh, with a gate, they could easily remove a gate.
Yeah, but I think they might be using it as like backstage area
so.
now.
Yeah, it's not a very big backstage area. I could be wrong. Yeah.
I definitely think they should open up the Scooby-Doo side entrance because
Well, I worry that it will be just sort of a dead end corner too much. I mean,
yeah, they need to. The whole park's like a really bad shape anyway.
yeah.
Because like, for example, you go on Wild West Falls and then you're like, okay, I want to go on Superman now. Like, oh, okay,
All the way
well,
back around. Yep.
walk all the way back around to the other side of the park.
Which would be so much better if you could cut through Wizard of Oz and yeah.
And to be honest, I
You-
think they need the foot traffic to get through there because otherwise it's just going to turn into a dead space like the Chinatown area was.
I hope not.
They do need to create better circular flow around that park because it's very linear parks to me don't really work. You've got to have
like
kind of a
it's like a theme park strip mall.
Yeah, it doesn't work very well because you've got to you congest your main footpaths with people that only have one choice of direction to get to whatever attraction they want to go to.
Yep.
So
And that's why I was
think
asking about the 2 entrances, because I think it would be beneficial to have 2 entrances to that Wizard of Oz area.
I don't
Even
think the
just
Main
for-
Street one doesn't do a whole lot. I guess it means that people headed towards Wizard of Oz, if they were at, like, for example, the Looney Tunes area before, they won't have to go all the way around through Superman and Flash kind of area. But I think the Scooby-Doo side would be the better side to open up because that kind of does create somewhat of like a circle you can loop around, and you can take the shortest route to whatever attraction. Almost any attraction except for like Wild West Falls would benefit from that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But I don't know. I just think it does need more flow.
Yeah, the whole park really does need a lot more flow.
So when are you guys well, you've got to come back up, Kieran, to do Storm Coaster and obviously do the open land. So when are you coming up here to duct tape a camera to your arm and do on rides?
And harass
I'm still waiting on
staff
opening
members.
dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start barking at a random Joker actor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on an opening date before I book my flights.
I figure I just needed to get some sea slander in.
Well, you know, I am in queer media, so I've seen a couple of posts. This is where your silent laugh is not coming in handy, Jake. You're leaving me hanging here.
It's just gone over my head.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Really holding space with.
I will have to say
the
I
lyrics
am
of
not as
Defying
good.
Gravity and really holding space with that.
I am
feeling
not as good at
power
your
in that.
multitasking, Jake, because I'm hint. I'm actually trying to do a passport application at the moment, and I keep distracted because I need to enter a code within 5 minutes, and I keep having to reset the code. So that's something to do a little bit later.
Oh my god.
Speaking of being in queer media, you know, we are the 3/4 of the LGBT.
Yes, we've
As
got.
We
also
are
noticed.
indeed.
We've got the three of the like lettuce, gay, bacon, and tomato.
Yeah.
Does that mean
lettuce, gay,
does
bacon,
that mean
and tomato?
we need a lettuce content creator to come and join our merry alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Well, I've just gone over to Discord and noticed that there's actually 4 boxes in the Discord at the moment. So I think the implication here is that Craig is a lesbian.
Good-o. Good for you, Craig.
Also, I didn't. Is Craig a bear as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're double teamed.
I mean, it's been a minute.
God's sake.
Oh my god. Wow.
Family podcast.
Yay.
Oh my. Wow.
Where do we go with
And
that?
Marking this episode for explicit content.
I feel like you guys have said things in the past.
I think every episode at this point has been marked.
I
For
mean, I
explicit content,
I literally just brought up your big metal penis at the start, so
Yeah.
we're not all cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in queer
Man.
media, so
We are in queer media, though.
But going back to me mentioning Cacao Park, I know it's not really South America, but I really like the fact that we're seeing a bit more from sort of Latin America in terms of posters with new like Vedanta World and Cacao Park.
yeah,
It's
really.
exciting.
It is, yeah.
It's like I don't have as ambitious plans as Jake does with riding a roller coaster in every country, but I would like to visit all of the 7 continents
Well,
at some point
it
during
gets
my life.
it allows it means there's a bit more interest to go to Brazil and stuff.
Yeah.
I think what that does is it makes it easier for Jake for you to get your second goal after riding a coaster in every country.
What was my second goal again?
Oh, I'm glad that you
Boomerang.
don't know because I don't.
My what?
Boomerang. Excuse me.
I'm
Boomerang. The twist and
so-
turn. The last of the 3 twist and turns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you have
I
said you
totally
wanted to
forgot
get
that I'm. Yeah, well,
For a
I was
second, I
already
was full
planning to go
Ariana
to.
Grande going, "Am I okay?"
I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what
I
any
didn't
of
know
it
how to be
meant.
there.
I'm sorry, I was trying not to be super obvious, but yeah. Yeah.
I need to hold
We'll
your
share the video with you after.
But
I need to hold your index finger, Heidi. I need.
Okay. What is this? Is that how big is that? Sorry, I've gotten distracted. Because when I in uh multitasking, I did look up some of the Hosso Land theming, and there is this fluffy, foxy, fluffy little short king overall wearing fox dude, and he
I
is.
had no idea what word was coming next at any point in that sentence.
He's just a nice little bit of theming. Don't know what he is, don't know what his purpose is, but he's funky. He's a little golden boy.
Oh my god, he's very round.
He's very
Oh, look at
rotund.
him.
Yeah.
I like the contrast of him just being adorable and hanging out right in front of a Viking longship.
Yeah.
And what appears to be a lighthouse.
With some
He's
forced
just there like,
perspective.
yay, I'm so cute. And then right behind him is the pillagers that are coming to
Wow.
to destroy your village and
Not the
Theming.
thatched roof
ransack
cottages.
everything.
I think my favorite bit of theming in that's been revealed of Hosso Land is Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn.
I'm
Ooh.
not familiar.
Skyrim.
Ah,
He's
Yeah.
that's another contrast there. We've got a statue of like the most muscle-bound Viking, like full-on realist sculpture. He looks absolutely huge. And then of course there's little cheese ball man.
it's the unlikely duo.
Have you actually seen the artist renderings for the entrance of Hosso Land? Because it is incredible. And
I have not.
and from construction photos, it looks like this is very much what it is going to look like.
Oh
I
wow.
believe the park's also supposed to be opening. I think it's end of May next year. I'm sorry, I've been just watching it a little bit. I'm quite excited because its theming looks world class, especially when you compare it
For
to.
those listening along, what website should they look at to find this? Because we
Um,
are an audio medium here.
That is true. Sorry, yeah, I have gone. Honestly, a lot of these photos that I'm getting are just on Hossoland's website, which is just hossoland.pl for Poland. I just think it's really interesting that Poland will get a world-class themed, like heavily themed park, because when you look at the likes of Energylandia and Legendia, other than Let
Yeah.
Coaster, nothing is really overly like brilliantly themed. Like they're all
Yeah.
they're themed, but they're themed. Like they're
Energylandia, it's only like the back half of the park that's got sort of proper
Yeah.
theming. The front half is just like a mishmash of how
But-
many random ride models can we squeeze into one area.
It's just a whole
But-
bunch of bullshit in the
nothing
front
like the
half.
stuff,
Yeah.
but nothing like the stuff that is we're seeing out of Hossoland, which is what makes
No.
me so giddy for it.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Because I do think the longer that I am a thuzy, which that's the other thing is despite today's not only my birthday, but I think it's pretty much almost my 2-year thuzy birthday.
Aw.
So
Aw.
I think the longer I am a enthusiast, the longer I realize how much I value theming,
Mm.
which obviously
It makes
being
all the difference.
Australian makes it hard. Yeah, and I think hopefully in some future world adventures I will get to experience some themed stuff. And like heavily themed stuff. And hopefully some weird themed stuff. We all need a Hunter Hunter Britain in our lives.
Under Britain. Dog fart coaster.
Dog fart
Sounds
coaster.
delicious. I'll have two.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, I think I could possibly get to Hossoland next year. If it is indeed open in time for summer 2025,
Well,
I might be able to go.
The date that has been thrown around is the 31st of May next year.
Okay.
Or
Well, in that
early
case,
June.
I very much could.
Yeah.
We will see. I will be looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, not much of its coasters have been announced, other than there's apparently a coaster that will be called Ghost Rider, and that they are working with Eastman and Vekoma for their attractions. But I'm fairly certain that their standout coaster will be what it looks like is very similar layout to what's been revealed for Cacao Park in Brazil.
Speaking of new roller coasters in weird parts of the world that have been revealed in
Yes.
the last week, PAX
I know
is back.
exactly where you're going. Pardon?
PAX is back.
That's not what I thought. Where I thought this was going.
PAX are building their first coaster in 10 years.
Wait, what? PAX is in
The Russian manufacturer.
yeah, like what?
They're back.
No, building
They're
what?
building another coaster. They're building,
Where?
get this, it's in Kyrgyzstan.
Oh,
And get
I gotta
this,
look this up.
it is a fourth dimensional shuttle coaster.
Shut up.
It looks stupid. It is unknown
Coast Odyssey
at,
when?
well, it's definitely the Kyrgyzstan Coaster Odyssey coaster when it opens. It's at
The only
Balalik
coaster in
Park
Kyrgyzstan?
there are others. Unfortunately, the other one that could be the Coaster Odyssey is a shitty Chinese looping coaster. But yeah, it's a new park. It's under construction, opening next year in Bishkek, and PAX are building their one and only coaster there. It's a new model called the PAX Boomerang, spelled Bumerang,
Oh,
and it's a fourth
Oh yeah, I
dimension
bought one of
shuttle
those from
coaster.
IKEA once.
straight track, my favorite.
Yeah, it's got lots of straight track, but it is a 4D shuttle coaster from PAX. So we all know that that's going to be,
The best thing ever.
yeah, it's going to be
Hey, we
stupid.
established when we went to Keith that jank is good.
Jank is very
Um,
good. PAX
that
Jank
is such a
is,
weird layout.
it's bizarre. It's
It's
so strange.
it's like if someone got a 4D three spin, uh, 4D three spin, not three spin, 4D free spin, which there's news to talk about with 4D free spins in a moment. Um, uh,
Yeah,
and
it's
and
crazy.
like one of those janky Iranian Surf Rider rip-offs in a way. Which also on the topic of Iran, because where I thought you were going was this weird rip-off
Yeah,
B&M thing that was shown about a week or two ago. That's just
it's
open.
that one's bizarre as well. It's got a splashdown.
I know.
It's
And
stupid.
it's got a layout that looks sort of like a BM sit down, but it's got like dive coaster trains, despite not having a dive. Just like a 80-degree drop. Like the
It's
drop doesn't look steeper than Jacko's coaster.
it's very bizarre. It will probably be the Coaster Odyssey for Iran, not because I think it actually is the best in Iran, but because that will be so much more interesting than any other coaster I could ride there.
There is
Um,
that X car coaster with the. I'm fairly
that's
certain it's got a
Iraq.
vertical lift. Oh, is it Iraq? Okay,
That's Iraq. Yeah.
I thought that was in
Um,
Iran.
and then yeah, the other news that you alluded to is that Six Flags Great Adventure has had another fucking
Oh
Whoopsie.
yeah.
great incident.
I wanted to ask you about
Yeah.
this as a ride operator, as someone who has ride ops experience. How does that happen?
Yeah.
I don't understand how
Um,
that has happened.
the I Ryan the ride mechanic put out a video, and I'm gonna have to watch it because I also don't quite fully understand how you manage to do that. It would have to happen in manual mode, so it's a maintenance person who's not paying attention because the ride physically can't do that otherwise. But
Yeah, but
also, I
that
think I'm slightly confused because obviously once you're on a chain lift, theoretically, even if you did have two trains on the chain lift at the same time, they should be moving in the same direction at the same speed. So I don't know how
yes,
they could collide. The only thing I can think of is that perhaps the chain dog on the first train might have broken, and then a maintenance personnel member was not paying attention and sent another train.
but
Um,
having a chain dog break is a whole other issue in of itself.
yes,
Is it
but it's
not? You should
not
not have it.
catastrophic. It, you know, it's not catastrophic if
No.
you know um clearly the if that is the case, if that is what happened, then the anti-rollbacks did their job and everything
Yeah.
should have been fine. And if they had been paying attention, um they would have been able to resolve that issue without crashing two trains into each other. I don't know if that's what caused it. Like I said, Ryan the ride mechanic is a really knowledgeable guy. I watch him a lot on YouTube, and he's put out a video about it. So I'm probably going to watch that and see if he knows what happened. Because yeah, that's bizarre. That's not something that I thought was even possible to happen.
Yeah. I yeah, for the people that don't know what we're talking about, yeah, Six Flags Great Adventure had their 4D free spin Joker, I think just whilst testing had on the chain lift two of the trains collide. How?
Mm,
Don't fully know. What's
yeah,
do you have any input on this, Kieran?
It's just it's wild that just this spate of unfortunate things has just befallen Great Adventure over the last however many weeks.
they had a derailment. They had a derailment not that long ago as well, didn't they? On
El Toro last year.
not El Toro. There was another one this year on
Oh, the Mine Train.
Oh God, now I cannot for the life of me remember which ride it was.
I thought it was the Mine Train.
Might have been. I don't know. Six Flags Great Adventure. It was on no, it was Harley Quinn Crazy Train. It was their little Zera
Oh,
coaster. Their little Zera family coaster derailed.
Is that the thing that's
Which
just like the infinity symbol?
no, that's
no,
the
like they don't exist anymore, thankfully. It's just a little family coaster. Well, I say little, it's got like the fucking longest train in the history of the universe.
Next to
that's
Catwoman Whip.
Yeah, it's got 20 cars. What the fuck? Yeah. Apparently it derailed like not that long ago.
Wouldn't have been like more than a month ago, actually, now that I think about it.
So that happened, and now they've done that to Joker, and everyone's already mad at them for King Dakar. They've had a really shit season.
And not a great way to celebrate their 50th anniversary.
Yeah, I was about to say, to make it all worse, it's their 50th anniversary. So
yeah. And
happy birthday!
Yeah, I feel like they haven't gone about the car like they should have already. To me, I feel like they should have announced, "Hey, we're getting rid of car, but look at this cool thing we're getting." That's how I personally would have done it. Now, I'm not a theme park operations CEO marketing person, but I just
They
feel
definitely
like
should have.
if you had
Mm.
some yeah, if you had a spoonful of sugar to help make the medicine go down, would have been so much better.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they could have, even though it wouldn't be opening for a couple of years, they could have marketed this new record-breaking launch coaster as the 50th anniversary surprise or whatever.
Yeah.
Just say, to celebrate the 50th anniversary, we're getting this new thing. King Dakar has to close to make way for it. Whatever. That would have had way less backlash. Way less backlash than, ta-da, King Dakar's closed. We're replacing it, but we won't tell you what with. And now everyone's going to be really cynical about that project for a long, long time because, it's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, it literally has big shoes to fill. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna and I'm curious to see what they do because obviously both of those corporations that merge to make up the current Six Flags Entertainment Corporation have had spotty relationships with manufacturers. So my thing that interests me is who they're going to pick.
Thinking probably, for me, Mark Rides.
Yeah, but unfortunately, when I think Launch Coaster, I don't think Mark. Unless it has another gimmick, like a spinning coaster, like Extreme Spinner or something.
Yeah, they got Blue Fire. They've got
Not another
Icon
one.
and
Oh, how bad would it be?
they've got
Ouch.
Yeah. It could be Mark, it could be Vekoma, it could be Intamin again. I don't know.
It could be
We'll see.
It could be PAX. We don't
I
know.
am Oh
Maybe
my god.
maybe they're getting a boomerang or a boomerang or whatever it's called.
It's gonna be the world's tallest boomerang.
Hey, it's a launched shuttle coaster, hey? It would be yeah,
Launched.
it would be like, imagine it's the tallest launched. Oh god.
The world's tallest launched 4D shuttle coaster. And it's built
Actually, I
by
don't even know if
PAX.
boomerang is going to be launched.
It's
'Cause that's a
not.
weird.
It
Got a
has
weird lift.
it's got a lift. It works. I'm pretty sure it'll work a
Like
similar
Cobra?
way to what Cobra does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's sad that you
which
missed
is
the RES rollerball when you went. But that hasn't opened yet, has it?
yeah. No, it still hasn't opened. That's all right though. I'll ride one at probably Vina Prada has one, don't they?
Mhm. Pop. I think so.
Maybe.
I think they do.
If not, I might go to Schwaben Park.
Schwaben Park. Yeah, Schwaben Park would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. We should probably start wrapping up the podcast. Usually, this is
Yeah.
the part of the podcast where I would ask you to tell us about your content and promote your various social media channels. So I'm just gonna let you do with that what you want.
Yes. Keep an eye on me.
Okay.
I might do some stuff. Obviously there is the YouTube handle Cars and Coasters, so that would be where who knows, that might actually genuinely change to the Trans Australian Coaster channel. But yeah, keep an eye on that if I do decide to give into the peer pressure and create some content of my own, instead of just mooching off these two. But hey, I'm not. I would say my mooching hopefully a happy little contribution.
We love having you on our channels.
Thank you, and hopefully in the future I will be on appear more. I know I will probably appear on yours whenever you come back up to Queensland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I know we probably haven't talked about it, but let's be real,
Yeah.
it's probably going to happen. And who knows, maybe some more stuff in the future. And definitely will appear on Jake's channel when we all do the creator meetup in Keith.
Keith, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
That's-
I did just want to do a quick in memoriam to, because I know obviously everyone's been mourning a Wild Train. But
Yeah.
I want to do a quick mourning to give me a second because my brain has gone blank. This is real professionalism from me right here. Give me 1 second. Might need to do some editing here, Jake.
Fuck you, we got so close.
Hey, I just thought you had it a bit too easy and you needed some
I'm keeping all this in. I'm keeping it in.
You go for that. You go for it, girl. No, let me just stop clunking around on RCDB because it's clearly a very important coaster because I can totally remember its name. Actually, I do remember
The
its
fact
name,
that
but I
I
just
have
can't find the right
no
one.
idea. I have no idea what you could possibly be referring to right now.
Maybe that makes it a nice little surprise. I'm talking about the last operating, well, no longer, Togo Bobster at Chiricahua Resort. We closed at the last month.
I find this before you do. I found it. Bobster.
I have it. I have it.
Closed.
Called Bobster. I just didn't know
Oh.
which park it was at because I knew it was Togo Bobster. But yeah, I think that's sad. I think it's always sad to see classic coasters go.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Oh
That was
God,
totally
that's
worth it.
Yeah.
It
The
doesn't look as
track
jank.
looks very, very rusty. Let's say that.
It doesn't look
okay,
as jank
we
as
should
that,
wrap up.
Wildman North Korea. Yeah, we should. Sorry, I have probably made this the longest one now.
I know
Not
we went
quite.
on a bit of a rant last week.
Yeah, I think last week's is still narrowly longer, but we're gonna wrap it up. Make sure you check out both Maloney's Coasters and Ejector Bear Time on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Blue Sky, and I believe we can find you, Kieran, on Blue Sky as well.
Yep, Ejector Bear Time.
Perfect. We will see you again next week, and in the meantime, this has been
A bunch of total
baloney.
baloney. What a bunch. What a
Bunch.
bunch.